let's get started on the story. So, what is Toonfest, mind you? Well, I can easily explain GalaxyCon real quick. Let me explain GalaxyCon real quick, then we'll jump to Toonfest. So, in a way, I don't know how to describe GalaxyCon. It's sort of like a Comic Con in a way, except it's like way bigger than any other Comic Con, except I don't know how big Comic Cons can be. But it's something similar to that, where there's celebrities attending, there's all these different vendors, and there's video games, pretty much everything you could have want. And there's panels, Q&As, um, cosplay, contests. Let's just say they have everything there. I would also say food, but I do not recommend getting food inside a convention. Now, if you want to get food from the food trucks outside, that'd be more plausible, because if you're paying for food on the inside of the convention, you're going to get highway robbery. Now, let me explain Toonfest. So, Toonfest was held here at GalaxyCon, and what Toonfest is for is to celebrate. It's a yearly celebration to celebrate the game Toontown. Because if you remember, well, if some people don't remember, Toontown Online was a game originally made by Disney back in 2003, but it got shut down in 2013. And then the next year after that, people who still cared brought it back. And it still lives on to this day, and you can totally play for free. And that community is what I've been a part of ever since. And this is actually a trip I knew I had to take because there would be no other time where I could potentially take it because it was actually really close to my state. Because usually Toonfests are held either at the east or west coast. And Lord knows I am not traveling that far to go to a Toonfest, so I had to take this opportunity. And the kicker is this time, I wasn't going alone. I was actually staying in an entire Airbnb with a bunch of other Toontown folk, which was really cool. So, let's start out with the first, well, technically day zero, because the way I'm counting these days is that we got day one of the convention, day two, and day three, and day zero basically counts as the day before the convention where we meet up with each other and go out and do stuff around town in Oklahoma City. So, first things first, we got this picture right here at this one restaurant. And you'll notice, I think you can definitely tell which one of these is me because I got the Boba Fett helmet on. And you'll notice the guy on my right also has a cover up because he's a little camera shy and he usually requests that he is like shunned out of pictures and stuff. So I respect those wishes. This is when we did our first group, well, not first group lunch, but this was like our full first group lunch together. And it was a lot of fun. It was really cool to meet everybody in face for the very first time. I cannot begin to describe how good it felt to meet everybody face to face here because we had been talking in a Discord for the past few months beforehand, just planning stuff and getting the Airbnb roster ready. And then when the time finally came, we could not be any more excited. And also, funny thing about this lunch here is that number one, it was cheap at least. But one of the things that it was technically at a steakhouse, but one of the things I ordered was like a grilled cheese platter. But what if I told you that the grilled cheese was smaller than the portion of fries they gave me? In fact, I think Smirky made a good joke here saying, "Oh, you got fries with a side of grilled cheese," which I think describes that very funny. In fact, Smirky's this guy right here. He's actually one of the well-known Toontown content creators on Twitch. He's also a Twitch partner as well, which is cool. So, that was our lunch together. We had already met up at the Airbnb. In fact, I got to the Airbnb that morning, and I will have pictures at the end showing what the B&B looked like. It was actually quite nice, mind you. But anyways, after lunch, that's when we decided to split up into different cars and head into Oklahoma City just to kind of explore, walk around, do stuff before we had the initial Toonfest pre-show, which was taking place at the convention center that evening. So I took two other guys in my car with me, and while a couple others went somewhere else, and we went straight into Oklahoma City to Bricktown, and we parked there, and we decided to take a walk around, maybe go to this building right here, which was Brickopolis, and potentially even play a little round of putt-putt. But also, what you see here in this photo completely contrasts what's here on the left. Because when we were out here, the weather was not very kind. In fact, this bridge right here, we actually had to take cover under it twice because there was a hailstorm coming through Oklahoma City. And that was just like, whoa. Because it almost came out of nowhere. We just start feeling like heavier and heavier raindrops. We get under the bridge, and then that's when it starts hailing. We just see these not huge, but these pretty decent sized hailstones hitting the ground. And even funny enough, here in this little river here, there were just some ducks. There were some ducks floating along in there as it was hailing, just not giving a shit. And we were just waiting on a response for the other people because we thought the rest of us, I mean, the rest of the people are going to meet us at Brickopolis. Then they started changing plans and they planned to just hang out at the convention center until the pre-show and to like meet up with everybody else that was coming who was within that Toonfest Discord. So we decided to take that initiative as well. We got back to my car and we drove it to a parking garage right outside the convention center. And here's a few more photos of it. Now, day 0 is usually when the convention is still setting up, but Toonfest decided to hold this pre-show the day before to kind of give a gist on the weekend and what was going to be happening, and to give everybody something fun to do and interact with other Toontown folks. Now, I don't have a photo of the actual room, but we were inside this decently sized panel room and we did this icebreaker activity where we would go around and have people sign our paper for a little surprise, and we even got goodie bags with shirts, cards, and codes to use in-game. So it was a lot of fun. I gotta say, I love the sign, first of all. Like, first of all, these signs are just, oh, and then we got this picture right here I got with the flunky, because they have, from what we've seen so far, they have two main mascot costumes. They have this inflated flunky costume, and then they have sort of a fursuit version of Flippy the dog, which is the main, what would I say, like the main character from the game. Well, he's one of the main NPCs, I should say. But you'll see that later on. So this was the first pre-show, day 0. And even when we were waiting there, just kind of chilling, waiting for everybody, it was really nice just seeing everybody show up just one by one, and seeing like the faces that I've known online for so long now, for the first time ever. It was so surreal. I feel like this is something that like any other older family members would not understand. Because in a way, these people that I've known online are like a second family to me. Because your parents always try to say, like, oh, you don't truly know them because you've never seen them face to face. And it was like, well, that's the whole point of this trip, is that we're meeting them face to face for the very first time. But eventually they understand. Because at the end, I'm having lots of fun. So, Now let's move on to day one. And I got quite a few pictures to show here. And this is when I'm also going to be in cosplay as well. So, to start off, this is when we were at the Toonfest booth, which is it was sectioned off in this one corner of the GalaxyCon convention in the main exhibitor hall. And in these cases, the main exhibitor halls are where you would find all the vendors and celebrities and all these different kinds of booths. And this was where the Toonfest booth was being held. And at the Toonfest booth, you had all these tables spread about. You had board games, you had free merchandise they were passing out. You had these backgrounds that you could take pictures in front of. There was even a jukebox that you could cue music from the game at. And even more importantly, you had these tables with computers where you could jump on and play the game together with people in person. But unfortunately, for the first day, I don't think they had the computers fully working. So it was a good thing some of us brought some of our computers. Although we didn't really end up playing much anyways, but that was about to change really fast. That was about to change. So in this first picture, you'll notice how I made even more bounty posters. If you watched my WeebCon Storytime, you'll notice how I made bounty posters for the VTubers I met. And this time I decided to go a little further and make these different kinds of bounty posters that looked like toon tasks from the game and met with some people that were in cosplay. For example, this person was the Duck Shuffler. And then this next photo, you'll see to my right, this one of my good friends by the name of Danny. They were wearing a scapegoat cosplay. And here you can also have a better shot of the booth area. See, you see some of the tables over there, people on the computers, then you have people doing drawing stuff over here. You have the backgrounds in the back there. Just so you can get an idea of what it was like. Oh, this moment right here. So I think at this point, I was getting ready to go meet some of the celebrities that were over on the other side of the exhibitor hall. But I ran into this guy right here with a fully decked out Book of Boba Fett cosplay. And just as he described it, we had like a Spider Man moment. I'm pretty sure if you know the Spider Man meme, that's exactly what it felt like. And I gotta say, I gotta give props to this guy because he went all out. Like, he has the blaster, he has the actual wrist guards, the actual armor plating, a bigger back flap, and the boots. Sure, my cosplay is pretty cool, but when you put it alongside people that actually make it legit, it doesn't look as good, but still cool. And of course, he still liked mine as well, so you can't really dunk on that. Now then, these two photos right here I got with Donovan Patton, who, if you could kind of tell from the bounty poster itself, this guy was Joe from Blue's Clues. In fact, all three Blue's Clues hosts were there at the convention. And I was debating on whether to get a photo or autograph from Steve or Donovan, which is Joe, though I'll be referring to him as Donovan because that's his real name. Because I was originally set on doing Steve, but then I thought about it and was like, I know Steve is the OG, but I grew up in the Donovan era. So I felt it made more sense to get a photo and autograph from him, because it would relate more to me. And I just want to say the interaction we had with the bounty poster and everything was just hilarious. You can even see in this first photo, like to the left, you see how guilty he is to see he's been put on a bounty. Now, yes, he did smile for a second picture, but Oh my gosh, he looks so guilty. Because he should. He was a wanted man. But you know what I should have said during the interaction? Because I think they might have mentioned, like, something about, like, the credit rewards. I should have been like, well, my client is the one that put the paw print on that poster. Basically referring to, like, if Blue put the bounty on them because she left the paw print on the poster. I feel that would have been funny, but that was something I thought of literally last minute after these encounters. And that's just so bullshit too. You always think of the best things to say literally right after you meet somebody. You know how you get roasted by someone and then the next day you immediately think of the best comeback in the shower and you try to relive that moment, but of course you can't? Yeah, that's how I felt. But still, it was cool either way. Hey, what's up, Muppet? Oh, at ease, soldier. No worries if you were late. If you had your life to deal with, that's perfectly fine. I'm just having today's stream is just a chill little story time of my GalaxyCon slash Toonfest trip. And plus, you didn't miss much. I can always back up some and show some photos here I have already gone over. Because this was all from day one of the convention. Anyways, back to this one. Or I should say on to the next one. So, similar to the bounty posters I made for both Steve and Joe, again, I also made one of some of the cosplay cogs that some people were doing, because they also wanted to get pictures together as well. Oh, yes, Muppet, I had an absolute blast. I don't know if you remember from my birthday stream where I was talking about my WeebCon experience. This con just blew every other con I've been to out the water. Because not only was it something I was a part of for over like 10 years, but it was also because of the people I met who I've known online for years. Well, some of them. But still, meeting a majority of them in person was the real kicker. Now, aside from some of the Toonfest stuff, these were a couple pictures I took over in the 501st Legion section of the convention. For those of you that don't know what the 501st Legion is, it's this huge group organization of Star Wars enthusiasts that go around in cosplays to events and such for charity. They might go to hospitals or to big events like these, or sometimes even sporting events. And these guys go all out when it comes to Star Wars stuff, including the cosplays and what you see on the screen, the props like the droids and the speeders. It's just insane. And you might be wondering, like, are you part of the 501st Legion, Sarge? Well, I am not. I wish I could, but I don't think my Boba Fett cosplay would qualify because these guys go all out and they take it to the entire next level. You'll think you'll maybe go for like a fur fest or something. See, I don't think I would ever go to a fur fest either, honestly. Because number one, not really a furry at all. I don't diss them at all because, people just do what they want to do. A TF2 spy with a furry face? Okay, now that's kind of funny. But yeah, really the only cons that I go to are Comic Cons, and GalaxyCon is technically like a Comic Con, except Toonfest was there, and that was the main reason I went. And I had to take the opportunity too, because I knew I probably wouldn't be back there for years. So I had to take the chance. So back to the Toonfest portion of it. This shot is from the first panel they had at the convention, which was called lifting the curtain of Toontown Rewritten, because that's the main server that this convention is surrounded upon, is Toontown Rewritten, because Toontown Rewritten was the server that came back after Toontown Online ultimately shut down. And can I first point out about this first shot? What's the first thing you notice? Because if you haven't already noticed, look how bright these lights are. You think they're bright in this picture, but they were just as bright as when I was sitting in this seat. I mean, we had pretty decent seats, but these lights, though, like, gosh, did they have to be so bright? Like, jeez. And what this panel was all about was them, showing behind the scenes on what was coming to the game in terms of content and showing progress on the upcoming content to the game. Because we have so far we had three different kinds of content coming. One of them was a new playground, like a new area they talked about. Another one was a retexture version of the game called Toontown Remastered, where they redid audio tracks and textures and graphics for every playground. But then, when it came down to their main update, the one we've all been thinking about, which was under new management, because we all knew they would have had to talk about some under new management stuff because they started talking about it last year. Well, when they started listing off the progress, they were being really subtle about it. But then all of a sudden, bam, that picture on the left. That picture right there. It was actually complete. And what you see on the left here, the update was releasing the next day. Believe me when I say that the whole room just filled with cheers. Like, we all cheered because we were finally getting a chance to play this update, because we knew it would have had to come out eventually, because before they did before they showed this screen, they showed a release trailer which didn't have a release date in it. And it wasn't until after the video that they sort of mistakenly revealed it, but then they revealed it and then we all cheered. Oh yes, I didn't see Muppet, but yeah. Tell your father I said happy birthday. Have a good one. So, yeah, that was really cool to see that the release date was literally the next day. In fact, a lot of the stuff that we were planning at the Airbnb to do together, like a movie night or like board games and such, we canceled pretty much all of that because we knew those next 2 days after this first one, we were just going to be playing Toontown because of under new management, which understandably so. Anyways, now this photo right here, this photo I got with the man himself, Joey Ziolotsky. This guy is the guy behind making this whole part of the convention possible. It was him and a whole bunch of other people on his team that brought Toontown Rewritten, that brought Toontown back. So you got this guy to blame for everything we've done at the convention. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have Toontown around anymore. Well, maybe. It could depend. Maybe there was someone else out there that cared that probably also took initiative, but this guy was the one that took initiative of it. And I also got to conversate with him because he was around the booth majority of the time, and since he's not really a celebrity, I mean, yeah, he's not really a celebrity. He's just a guy, but like he is in charge. He's basically the lead of Toontown Rewritten. And I remember telling him, because this was after the release date for Under New Management was announced. I was literally telling him, I'm so glad to see Under New Management finally be released because I actually stopped playing TTR, or I actually stopped grinding my suits in TTR because I wanted to wait for Under New Management. And he said, that's perfectly understandable because that grind is real and that's the whole purpose of this update is to make it better. Which he was so right about. That was the whole point. So now we progress into the evening panel, which is where we got to meet some of the developers from Toontown Online. Not Toontown Rewritten. These guys, what you see on screen, were people who worked on Toontown Online, except for Joey. But these three right here, Jesse Shell, Sean Patton, and Mike, I don't remember his last name, it just says Mike. But all three of these guys did work on Toontown Online back when it was in its early stages. So any sort of background knowledge any of us would have wanted about the game, these guys were the ones to go to. It was basically like a little Q&A for them. But what was the kicker of it was they got to do a little play test of Under New Management because these guys, even though they have tunes in game, they never play, obviously, because these are grown men. And obviously they wouldn't know how to play. Hang on, let me take a drink of water real quick. That's better. I just want to say, when they were playing the game and going through the new facilities and stuff, just watching them as they do their battle strategies, oh my god, some of us, or a lot of us in that room, just started having aneurysms about how they were fighting the cogs. Like, we would be cheering and then we would be going like, no, after they made a mistake. Oh yeah, and then like if they dodged an attack, he would cheer. It was very funny and a lot of fun. And as you can tell from the picture, we got a front row seat. Honestly, probably couldn't ask for anything better. So you could probably tell that after that first day, I was exhausted. But I was at least able to get a pretty good night's sleep. Because day two was when we started kicking things up a notch. Well, not really, because everything I had wanted to actually do aside from the Toonfest stuff, I had already got done that previous day. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot. Here, let me go back. Let me go back to here. I totally left out the part where I interacted with Steve Burns. Now, I didn't get a picture with him, I only got an autograph from him, because I still had his bounty poster printed, because I was kind of debating. But I figured, you know what? I might as well just get an autograph with him and kind of get a little interaction with him. So, didn't get a picture, but did get an autograph. But here's how the interaction went. So, I go up to. So, he's like interacting with the folks that are in line, and then it's my turn to go up to one of his handlers who collect payments for the autographs and pictures, or combos if you want both. So I pay for my autograph, and he takes a look at what I want him to sign, and he just smiles and like, oh my god, that is so awesome. I can't wait to see this. And so Steve is on the other side, still talking to the people. I get my helmet on, and I get ready to go up to him. So then it's my turn. I walk up to him, and I hear him say hello to me as he kind of like looks at my cosplay because I'm in full Boba Fett form. And then I stop and I just lift up the bounty poster with his face on it, and his face, oh my god, his face, he got his face just filled with fear. And one of his handlers was like, "He got you, Steve. You better sign the paper." And I took off the helmet, I set it down, and I go, "You're a wanted man, Mr. Steve." And he goes, "Look, look, look, look. Tell your boss I have his money and I will get back to him." And then he funnily did a little like Han Solo trick where he acted like he was blasting me or something. But then like he dropped that and he was like, "Bro, I'm not signing this." And I'm going, "Well, tell that to the rocket launcher I have on my wrist." See, that's where I should have dropped, like, "Oh, where do you think that paw print came from?" Oh, that would have been so funny because he would have pieced together that, like, Blue put a bounty on him. So, but eventually we dropped the act and he asked to see my helmet because I already took it off. Because, I mean, also Donovan did the same thing as well because they really admired the helmet. And I'll never forget, Steve signed the poster and said, with the helmet in hand, easily one of the best Star Wars characters. And honestly, such an amazing cosplay as well. Like, that just made my day. And in my head, I'm like going, wow, it was such an honor. Because it seems he really likes Boba Fett as a character as well. And yeah, it is a lot of fun making bounty posters of these celebrities because I think it adds some level of character to the costume. Because I did this before with other celebrities in other Comic Cons. This is just one where I upped the ante, especially with the newly designed posters. Oh, you've always wanted to cosplay him, Cookie Ryu? I will say, the thing about my cosplay is that I bought the helmet and the whole suit separately. The helmet I wearing is the Hasbro Boba Fett re-armored helmet. Because there is another version where it's the Empire Strikes Back helmet, but this one's like the Book of Boba Fett version. Or Mandalorian Season 2 helmet. And then of course the armor is for the Book of Boba Fett. And I had the outfit tailored online. So it was this one website that tailored Star Wars cosplays, and I basically paid for that, and it was shipped to me. My only gripe about it is that I wish the armor was a little bit bigger because the armor only came down to part of my chest. See, even though you could put in your measurements there, it really wasn't as many accurate measurements, but it still worked out in the end because the cosplay still looks pretty good. Yeah, that's the story of my cosplay in general. I got the helmet and suit separately. And see, actually, let me go back. You see, underneath this, like the shirt and the pants. So the pants are usually a pair of sweatpants that I have, although I am wearing the pants that were tailored for the costume. But the shirt I'm wearing is an Under Armour black long sleeve shirt, which I think works out better because when you're at these conventions, depending on what's happening, you might get a little hot. And the shirt, the Under Armour shirt, does a great job of absorbing sweat. In fact, I actually got another one before I went to the convention, so I would have two different shirts to put on. So I wouldn't be wearing the same one for 2 days. My plan was I was going to go 2 days in cosplay and then the last day in street clothes, but I ultimately just wore my cosplay for the first day because I knew since Under New Management was coming out the next day, I was just going to go in street clothes because I knew I was going to be lugging around a backpack with my laptop and folder in it. Oh, you're nervous to cosplay for the first time? Well, I don't know how much advice I can give you, but all I can say, if you want to cosplay, just do it. Because in a way, cosplay is all about expression. Whether that be a character you admire or an OC that you have. You know, everybody has their unique cosplays, and that's what makes it great. And honestly, the cosplay community, I use that term cosplay community, but even if it's not a high quality cosplay, every other cosplayer out there is going to respect you just because you're putting yourself out there, in these cosplays. And also, it's a lot of fun. I've lost count of the amount of times that people pull me aside to take pictures with me. You don't see this on my phone and such, but you definitely, because I don't ask them to take pictures with my phones, but like I've lost count of how many times people pulled me aside just to take pictures with me. Anyways, on to day two. So again, this was a day where I went in street clothes. The first panel we attended was a behind the scenes of the under new management update. So they were showing some of the icons that they designed, some of the battle mechanics, and some of the graphics that they had. Oh my gosh, this one right here for this icon. Yeah, apparently that was the prototype design for this status effect. And they knew they had to change it immediately, but at the time it was very funny. And the same thing goes for the factory foreman over here, because they wanted to experiment how much taller they should make his forehead, and it just got completely out of hand, as you can see there. Then, after all that, and after playing some TTR, we decided to go out as a group to go get something to eat. So we took a walk around Oklahoma City to find something, and then here's actually the tallest building in Oklahoma City. You see that faraway shot, and you see the taller building right there. And yeah, that's right. They did redesign the foreman. In fact, they redesigned all other supervisors. I don't have pictures of them, but the update is out, and you can see them on the TTR website. But the way this update was designed, it was designed to improve the suit grinding experience, giving it better quality of life, so to say, so it doesn't feel like so much of a boring grind. So therefore, you have these new supervisors and increased amount of merits you can earn depending on the facility. And these supervisors give an added challenge that the original supervisors didn't. All right. Now, oh my gosh, I can't believe that I'm talking about this now. But so here was the Toonfest booth right here. So here's another good shot of it in case you couldn't really get a good shot before. But here was the Toonfest booth at the convention center. As you see, there's no problem with it. However, I don't know who in the world was planning the GalaxyCon setup in the first place, because right outside of this arch area, basically facing the direction that this security guard right here is facing, what do you think what do you think is facing right now? Well, if you go in here and then walk out from this arch, this is what you see. That's right. Gamer Subs had their booth right outside the Toonfest booth. And in case you don't know what Gamer Subs is, it's basically this waifu cups company that makes these cups with like these waifus on it, as well as making different flavors based around their waifus, including and this includes a plethora of VTubers as well. Because let me tell you something, the Toonfest booth is targeted towards kids and adults. But I can only imagine how some parents must have felt bringing their kids around here, but then immediately turning around and seeing this. I don't know who planned this, but that's pretty bad, but also pretty hilarious at the same time. Anyways, enough of that. Oh, yes. So, one of the free merchandise pieces they were giving out was this poster right here. Now, I even showed this to my friends, and while a lot of us do talk smack on TTR a lot of the time because we prefer Clash over it, we we cannot diss the artist because look at this poster right here. Just oh, mwah. Like this is easily one of the best posters they have ever made for the game. I actually still have the poster in my backpack actually, and I probably will hang it up in my room. Ah, yes, so here is the photo I got with Flippy, because like I said, they had the inflatable version of the Flunky, and then they had the fursuit version of Flippy. And I think they also add, from what I can tell from the other people I was going with, they added some more quality of life to this costume where he had a little speaker inside that did the Toontown dog sounds whenever he spoke. So that was pretty neat. Oh yeah, and you'll notice the shirt I was wearing. These were some of the shirts they were giving out during the event. Or actually no, this was the shirt you got if you attended the pre-show. But still, it's great to now finally have a Toontown rewritten shirt in my closet. Plus the lanyard as well and all the other goodies in the goodie bag I was given. Oh yeah, and then here we did another group photo with other people from the Airbnb. I think you can tell which one is me. Obviously, I'm right here. But yeah, we pretty much got together when Flippy came out. It was like, all right, we're gonna take a group photo together and then be on our way. I also don't know why they put this on the pillar in the back there. I don't understand the purpose of it, but it was pretty funny to see. Because it says like, what big pillar? There's no big pillar here, even though it's on the big pillar. Okay, now we're moving on to day 3. So day 3 again was pretty much compromised of us just playing Toontown together and then going to some of the other Toontown related events there. In fact, one of them that was happening was this one was this one this day? Oh yes. It was a family feud type of Toontown panel. Cuz yesterday they did what was called the Toonies where it was a cosplay contest, artwork contest, video contest to judge which one is the best one. They would do like a runner up and then second place and then first place sort of ordeal. And then this third day, we had the Family Feud type panel, which was a lot of fun. Then there was this. Wait, actually, no. No, wait. Oh, no. The Family Feud one was on day 2 because the day 3 stuff for Toonfest was on the outside of, or was just going to be at the Toonfest booth and not in any of the panel rooms. Now let's move on to day 3. So as you see from this first picture here, this was from the pie toss event where all of us got the chance to throw quote unquote pies in the TTR staff's face. Oh, what's up, Buck? It's great to see you. Oh, don't worry that you're late. It's great to see you now. Kind of joined just in time too, because I'm just going on to day 3 of the event. But this pie toss event was just a blast. In fact, I got to pie Joey in the face as well. As a matter of fact, let me actually get out of here real quick. And I'll take a look at this. Actually, hang on. Oh, Buck, thank you for the Prime subscription. Thank you, thank you. All right, anyways, this was where I pied Joey in the face. Oh man, you would not believe how good that felt. Oh man. So you can tell from this pie toss alone that they got pretty fucked up with cream. In fact, I did it for like all four people here. I originally was just playing on Joey, but then I was like, okay, you know what? I might as well do the rest of the some of the rest of the others. Now, what they did in terms of pies is they just kind of did these paper plates filled with whipped cream. Because obviously, if you went to buy pies, that would be kind of expensive, so it would just be cheaper to get plates and then just spraying whipped cream on them. However, they did have a couple of real pies and an actual cake for some of the Toonsies winners to throw at them. And I think this was also after they did that because there is like some pie residue left on Joey over here. And also, mind you, when we were throwing these pies, we weren't like throwing them like across a range. Like we, as you saw from that clip, we went up and then softly shoved it in their face. Because obviously, if we just went like full on smack, then that would kind of hurt. So again, not much was happening that day other than the fact that we were doing just playing Toon. In fact, that day I was primarily just at the Toonfest booth, just playing Toontown, playing under new management, since that was day 2 of the update being out. Then after the Pie Toss event, we got together with some of the B&B folks to go to Joey's Pizzeria because there's this one location in Oklahoma. Oh God, in Oklahoma City that called Joey's Pizzeria. We knew we had to go there because since we have Joey Ziolowski as the lead for the Toontown Rewritten team, we knew we had to go to a Joey's Pizzeria in tribute to that. Now I don't have the picture of us there, but when we were walking there, this is actually a picture of the park we passed by. And, you know, all I can say is that the human eye is a better camera than any other camera that could be made ever. Unless maybe like a VR camera or something, but still, the human eye cannot compete with any other camera. Oh yeah, dude. When Dan's shoe melted on our way there, and you had to get down and get your electrical tape. Oh my gosh, I actually took a video of that, but I don't have it in the slideshow here. But still, oh man, I feel bad for him too because out in a hot day with him in that like spin doctor suit and that formal clothing, like that could have not been me. I'm glad I didn't wear my cosplay on Sunday, and I'm also kind of glad I didn't wear my cosplay on Saturday either, since we were mainly just focusing on Toontown stuff that day. But yeah, didn't get many other photos on day 3. I think I took this photo around towards the end because, this is just a beautiful escalator area. Ah, yes, the Toon B&B. Now, what's the Toon B&B? Well, it's basically an Airbnb, but we call it the Toon B&B because it was just a bunch of Toontown folks staying together. And there was about 14 to 15 of us staying there because there was four different bedrooms and then we all basically shared cots and beds and couches. I think there was two people that slept in the living room, three of us slept in one bedroom, three people slept in another bedroom, two people slept in another, and then the rest slept in another bedroom. But it was still nice. In fact, let's just get on to the picture. So here's the outside of the B&B. And of course, you'll notice the gray bars covering up the address and my license plate. So this Airbnb is located in this nice, quiet neighborhood. It's practically probably one of the only Airbnbs in that area because I've seen no other house look the same as this one. This one was particularly special. But I'll never forget what happened with the people before us because I think Brennan said over the Discord that the people that were in this B&B before us apparently broke a window and also cracked a mirror in one of the bathrooms. So of course when we received that news, we were pretty much just given a heads up like, okay, we're going to be a little bit more careful around this time. More water. Cuz when you talk a lot like this, like you pretty much have to keep on drinking. Anyways, so inside the B&B, this is the main living room. You got this nice big couch, and you got the pool table in the back with a couple of arcade games as well, and then you got the board games over here. And then off screen, you can't really see it, but there's also a door to the backyard, which also had a jacuzzi. Now, the sad part is we actually didn't really use the jacuzzi because, well, obviously we were so busy anyways. I was wanting to use the jacuzzi at first, but yeah, I eventually didn't use it as well because I was like, nah. Because we were just too busy just doing other things inside, whether that be playing Toontown or watching movies. In fact, one of the nights we were there, because we were at a Toontown event, we felt it appropriate to watch Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And just watching that movie and having prior knowledge of Toontown is honestly so hilarious because Toontown was pretty much based off of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. That's the living room. Then, if you shift on over, we have the kitchen. Ignore parts of the mess. This is not my mess because I didn't really use the kitchen at all. Because all we pretty much ate was stuff when we went out together, and the only stuff we ate here was like snacks. I mean, Dan did cook us breakfast for 2 mornings, but that was pretty much the only time the kitchen was used. Other than that, it was just like either snacks or drinks and cereals and ramen and all that jazz. But still, this is a very nice kitchen and dining area. In fact, it's almost like there's two separate dining rooms to this because you got this chair over here, this table with chairs on one side. In fact, I think if you look beyond that, you can actually see the jacuzzi and the fire pit in the backyard. And then you got this table over here. I'm not really sure how that was supposed to work, but two separate dining areas, well, I guess, that's something because obviously this house was designed for a group of people and not specifically one person. Now, for everyone's favorite addition, the bathroom. Okay, now this was one of the bathrooms. In fact, I think there were only two bathrooms. There was one on the other side where if you went down that hallway right there, it would take you to it. It was one of the smaller bathrooms where, you walk in, you see the toilet, the sink, and the shower with a curtain. basic stuff. But this was the master's bathroom. I don't have the shot of the toilet, but it's off screen to the left, away from the tub. You know, if I was there alone, I would have loved to use the bathtub because whenever I get the chance, I always love taking nice hot baths. And the bigger the bathtub, the better. But first of all, the shower. So one thing you'll notice is that there's no door or shower curtain. It's completely exposed. And really, you don't even need the shower curtain or a door in the first place because there are these drains that you don't see at the bottom that drain out the water. Like there's basically a full open drain on the other side of this guard here. And then there's another one built in the wall here. And also, I don't know why you would have like windows in a bathroom. I mean, because usually sometimes there are windows in bathrooms, but usually they always have blinds or they're those ceramic can't see through windows, but it just allows the light in. So there's that. Oh, Chloe Cassandra, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the army. Anyways, but the times I used the shower, which was pretty much almost every night, because obviously want to clean myself up after the con. One thing that I discovered about this shower is that there was 3 different settings to it. See, the first setting is what comes out of this first flat shower head. You know, you stand under it and just you rinse down underneath it. But then there's this knob on the top of the lever. And if you turn that, you could change the settings. And the second setting was, you see this thing right here? That was basically a handheld sprinkler or shower head that you could use to just take and maybe direct where you want to shower yourself. Because I think there are some shower heads that allow that, but this one was just built into it. So it's not that uncommon. But the third one, though, the third one I didn't use, but I did test out. When you turn to that third setting, there were these 4 other smaller shower heads right in front of you on this wall that were directed at your body. And I guess they were meant to just spray outwards towards you if you wanted to take sort of like a sideways sort of shower. I don't even know how to describe it, but it was cool to see. The amount of things you can do with a shower is just insane. And I got a question for y'all. When y'all visit a hotel or a resort, whenever you get to the room, what's the first thing you do? Do you just flop down on the bed? Do you sit in the main chair in the room and if how uncomfortable it is? Or do you take a look at the bathroom first? Because I know there are some people out there that view the bathroom first. Which, understandable, because obviously sometimes the bathroom can be pretty nice, and obviously you want a nice place to shower and do your business in. So, that's actually the last little picture of this slideshow here. Um, oh, Buck, just in case if you missed it, I wanted to talk about something that I was explaining before. I'll go ahead and reiterate it again. So Buck, I want to show you this. So we all know that here at the Toonfest booth, we, you know, Toonfest is directed towards kids and adults. Now, obviously, there were mostly adults there, but we did see some children there. A good few children, because it's either like parents showing them or the children are curious and want to take a look. However, right across from this, which I don't know who was in charge of planning, right across from this booth was this. Oh my god. I still can't get over it. I just do like back and forth, like, oh, this is here, but this is also here. Oh my. And you know what? They should be glad that this is what was shown because literally on the other side of this like poster like a pan like pan, I can't speak. But literally if you looked on the other side, you would have literally saw a how do I describe it? A a waifu in a beach bikini nearly exposed, literally only covered up by a bra and a thong. Oh my god. And if you don't know what Gamer Subs is, I've already explained how like Gamer Subs is a sort of waifu cup brand where they sell all these shaker cups with waifus on them, and they also sell um drink powder. They also sell drink powders with like the same thing. But I think you get the picture. You could easily look it up and you'll get the photo. So I'll run through the slideshow one more time, just in case if you miss certain things. Because I've already explained in depth what each photo represents. If you missed anything, you can go look back in the VOD, but I'm just going to go back through it one more time. So this was day 0. This was when we got lunch with Smirky and the rest of the gang. This was when me and some of the other boys went to go explore Brickopolis and Bricktown, and then that's when we got hailed on. This was the first Toonfest pre-show area. And then day 1, photo with Love a Lot with her her Duck Shuffler cosplay. And then Danny with their scapegoat cosplay. And then eventually we have you with your case manager. Oh yeah, and then I got the photo with Donovan Patton. And you guys got to use my bounty posters I made for y'all to take pictures with. And then this was some shots from the 501st Legion booth. The lifting the curtain where we all cheered when under new management was finally announced for the next day. The photo I got with Joey. The developer panel where they got to play under new management and where we all just had. Oh my god. Oh my gosh, I still remember that photo from the Toonfest Discord. Yeah. And then the backstage of under new management. Then when we walked around Oklahoma City, I completely skimmed over this story actually. We actually could not find anything that was open. We were walking around for nearly like 20 to 30 minutes. We could not find anything because anything we either wanted. See, the first place we were going to was this Mexican restaurant. And we didn't know it. And it said it was open on the app, on the Maps app, but it was actually closed. So then we went to another restaurant, but then found out that restaurant was closed. And then we figured, okay, there's another Subway around the way. Let's just go there. But that was also closed. So pretty much everywhere we went was closed. And we finally came to the decision to just walk back to the convention and just get something from the food truck or something. Now, I wasn't really hungry beforehand because I already had something from the food truck, so I wasn't really that hungry. And in fact, that evening after the con, we all went to Brahms anyways. It was actually kind of cool to bring some of y'all to Brahms because there's actually a Brahms literally 5 minutes away from me. So I guess it's common in Arkansas and other places, but not common in other places across the country. And the best part is that Brahms is also cheap and quality. And it's even a little food, it's a little small food market as well. So it serves as both a fast food restaurant and a food market. So yeah, of course there was that comparison game. Then we have the poster, the picture I got with Flippy, the group photo we got together. And of course, day 3 we had the pie toss, the walk around Oklahoma City, and then when we went to Joey's Pizzeria. Oh, you don't need to worry, Fairy. Sometimes Twitch can be weird like that. That's why I always tend to send out like a tweet, or I in my own Discord I have a bot that goes out every time I go live. So if you ever want to catch some of my other streams, you can just join my Discord from my social links in my Twitch channel. Because sometimes Twitch notifications can be weird. And yeah, I just got some final shots of the park and everything, and then of course the Toon B&B. And yeah, that was basically my experience with Toonfest. Well, actually, that was just a slideshow. Let me go back to a picture somewhere here, like a more appropriate one. Actually, let me go back to this one. Now, let me just go back to my OBS real quick. And let me take my PNG avatar. I'm going to make him a little bit bigger. There we go. Now let's go back into the slideshow. Because now, even though I gave you guys that slideshow, I just want to talk about, my overall experience. Like, what did I feel for this trip? Well, like I explained before, this con was easily one of the best cons I've ever been to. It blows every single one I've been to out the water. No competition. Okay, before I continue, let me drink something. So, I knew that this was almost a once in a lifetime opportunity because I knew any other Toonfest after this one would have been held either somewhere on the West Coast or the East Coast. And Lord knows I'm not going to be traveling that far just for a Toonfest because number one, that would be pretty expensive. And number two, you know, I've never, it probably would not be worth my time. This one I took advantage of because this convention was only located it was only located 3.5 hours away from me. So not the longest drive I've done because the longest drive I've ever done was 5 hours, which was when I went to WeebCon. So this one wasn't that bad either. But the real kicker of this event was getting to meet everybody that I've known online for quite some time, finally in person. And it's actually crazy how I remember a lot of people's names because I'm not a guy that is good at remembering names, but I do feel I remember everybody's name from the B&B and from the event pretty well. In fact, I could probably just name some people here. That's Amanda, Liam or Jake. Then we have Rachel, Sebastian, Raul, and then there's me right there. Then there's Brennan, then Bunga, Slade, uh, Darth, and well, shit. I think, okay, I think this is where I get caught off there. But then, of course, I remember some of y'all's names like Harvey and Danny, because, even though I'm not a person at remembering names, a good chunk of people I remember. Although a couple people here I do forget their names. But still, the trip as a whole, I had such a good time. Easily the highlight of the summer for me because I don't know what I'm going to look forward to after after this. I mean, I'm a season pass holder at Silver Dollar City, so I do plan to go back there a few more times this summer. And then, of course, obviously, going to be doing a lot more live streams this summer. In fact, one of my more anticipated streams that I'm going to need to put out, like, I don't know when Dead by Daylight's going to put out um 2v8, but you can bet your sweet booty that once that mode comes out, I'm definitely going to be making I'm going to be making a couple streams around it. Trust me on that one. I seriously want um behavior to keep it a permanent game mode. They have to make it a permanent game mode cuz it's a game mode that people have been requesting for what, like years now? Because I believe I've been a part of the Dead by Daylight community for like over 2 years now, so I wouldn't really know. Well, 2 to 3 years kind of. But yeah, I just see like those videos on YouTube where people are requesting for a 2v8 mode because of how fun it will be. In fact, that's why some of us flocked over to Texas Chainsaw Massacre because of the 3v4 formula. And then I think now we have Killer Clowns from Outer Space, which I think is out for playtesting right now. I don't really have any interest in Killer Clowns from Outer Space, but you know, the gun is pretty much just letting people flock over to that game and play that for a while, and then they can come back as soon as they release the new Killer on June 11th. But you can definitely bet your booty that one of the that once 2v8 comes out, I'm gonna be playing that a lot. Oh, one of your followed channels is playing it right now? Well, I wouldn't be surprised because I think the playtest for it just came out either today or yesterday, and that's why people are playing it. Again, don't really have much interest in it, and it isn't a playtest as well. So there obviously is going to be bugs and stuff that still needs to be worked out. But Texas Chainsaw Massacre did the same thing last year. Well, so let's hang on. Let me let me go back to my that let me go back to where I pied Joey in the face real quick. Oh my. And I remember like after that happened, I literally took that clip of me doing it and put it in my own Discord and it was like, "Hey guys, I pied Joey in the face for y'all," because we always kind of just talk smack about TTR in the first place. And I was just like, "Yeah, I pied Joey for y'all." Let's see. After that, I'm actually looking at the Facebook post I have on my phone and like trying to skim through it basically. Okay, so if I go back, oh god, Jesus, that's loud. Okay, let me turn this down. This was like a little walkthrough I did of the convention where I started from, I think, doors B and then walked around to the Toonfest area and then back to the 501st and Ghostbusters area. But I wanted to show you exactly um what I was talking about when I was making the whole comparison with um okay, I'm just gonna let it play or see if it'll allow me to play. It might not though, because it's kind of being a little bit of a bitch. Uh, okay, there it is. This is the shot you need. This right here. It is a little blurry, but that's just because of the video call. But that's because I was already panning my camera during this time and it's paused. But yeah, it's a good thing this side of the freaking booth was not the other side from what I shown multiple times on stream. The fact that Toonfest and Gamer Subs were right next to each other. I even showed that picture in one of their Discord of like a VTuber community, and when they saw that, even they admitted was like, okay, that's actually pretty poor planning, which it is. I still I still can't get over that. I'm probably gonna be telling that for the rest of my life because it's just that funny.